The prophets, Ezekiel, Zechariah, and others, had tough words aplenty for the bad shepherds, the venal rulers of Israel, the kings and their cronies. You might wonder what these prophets would make of today's world leaders. The disregard of some for truth, or for international law, or for the poorest in society. Yet Israel's rulers had also abused a God-given pastoral authority. They were the Lord's anointed, and therefore supposed to uphold his justice. Instead, their flock had been divided, fallen victim to foreign powers. Their sheep, Jeremiah lamented, didn't even know their own fold. One hope remained. God was the true shepherd of Israel, the source and pattern of all kingship. God would provide a single shepherd around whom his scattered people would reunite. And in this morning's gospel, Jesus is seen to be that shepherd, the one in whom God's chosen people find their unity. In him there is no venality. In him there is no injustice. But Jesus does more than fulfill the messianic hopes of the prophets. He reveals the bombshell that this shepherd loves the flock so profoundly that he will lay down his life for their defense. Jesus identifies himself here not just with the shepherd, but with the suffering servant of Isaiah. He will defend us through his cross, his death, resurrection, and ascension. Well, all this you might say is well and good, but that ascension removed the very protector we were promised. So where's our shepherd now? Because now is when we need him. The answer must be, of course, that he's still with us through the gift of the Spirit. His Spirit present in the church through word, sacrament, and ministry, whether that's the ordained ministry of the clergy or the wider exercise of our common baptismal priesthood. Christ shepherds us as the source of our every inspiration. But of course, the Church also invests particular pastoral authority in her bishops, entrusts them with the heavy responsibility of representing Christ as head of the Church to the Church's members. A task never easy, and one that would be impossible without the grace of Christ. And today we celebrate the 11th century bishop who accepted this grace wholeheartedly, Wulstan, Bishop of Worcester. The promising nephew of another Wulstan, the powerful Archbishop of York, our Wulstan was educated in several monastic schools, no doubt with a clerical career in prospect. However, his career as a secular clerk or clergyman was thrown off course by a goose. The rich smell of the bird as it was cooking so disturbed the young man's prayers that he became a vegetarian on the spot and soon entered the Benedictine monastery at Worcester. From there, he was made Bishop of Worcester in 1062, so just 4 years before the Norman conquest, and he would prove the longest-serving Saxon bishop under the new King William. He's remembered for many virtues. He campaigned against the slave trade that operated through the port of Bristol. He encouraged monastic reform throughout the West Country. And these were days when if monks sang the wrong tone, they might look up to find an archer or a company of archers targeting them from the gallery, a practice not, I hope, to be introduced by our current cantors. He was tireless in journeying around his diocese, confirming children, putting in stone altars for the churches, and in preaching reconciliation. He founded a monastic community at Great Malvern, rebuilt numerous churches in Worcestershire, Herefordshire, and Gloucestershire. He also fed large numbers of the destitute who crowded round his doors. Indeed, he did more than feed them. He invited them to his own table, where they were waited on as honored guests. He saw in them the dignity of being sisters, brothers in Jesus Christ, sheep of his own flock. And it says much about Wulstan's tireless and charismatic leadership that he died in 1095 while washing the feet of his parishioners. May his example of Christian leadership inspire all those who hold office in today's church and more widely in society.